Hello. I know this is a little unconventional for us, but I think this is really important. So we are going to do this one. Um, I never use a script or anything like that, but today I've written something down because honestly, I don't think that I'd be able to say what I'm about to say without it. So I'm going to pull that up right now and we can get started. I'm sure you can tell that the feeling is a little heavy from my side. Um, Kind of heavy in the way that only this moment in history seems to know how to be. We are living in a time where the horrors of the world are not something we hear about later or read about in textbooks after the fact. They live in our pockets, on our phones. They interrupt us mid scroll. They show up between a recipe video and a picture of your friend's baby. I can watch a video of someone being brutalized or unalived or, mainly just protesting, and then immediately turn around and my kid is asking for a snack. And something about that feels deeply wrong. Not because of the snack, not because the snack doesn't matter, but because I just think our human nervous system wasn't designed for this. I'm going to try not cry. I want to talk today and about how we are supposed to hold all of this, how we take care of our mental health when the suffering of others is woven directly into our daily lives. How to sit with the guilt, the fear, the anger, the confusion, when we know deep down that we are privileged enough to some of us anyway, to not be living this violence firsthand. Not some of us, many of us. Many of us are privileged enough to not be living this firsthand. I want to name something very clearly because avoiding it does not mean it goes away. So many of us are privileged enough to witness violence without being the immediate target. We get to look away. We can log off. We get to say, this is too much for me, and still be safe in our homes. And I'm not saying that privilege makes you a bad person, but it does come with responsibility. I have many friends who could be profiled by ICE. Friends who have to think about their documents in a way that I definitely don't. Friends whose nervous system's permanently braced for a knock on the door, a traffic stop, a misunderstanding. And when you love people like that, the news doesn't stay theoretical. I have so much empathy and concern and love for the people I don't know. And it lives in our body. I think here's where the mental health conversation gets really real. You are allowed to deeply be affected and see injustice, even if it's not happening directly to you. It's more than being loud. It's vital. It's necessary. Empathy is not appropriation. Compassion is not overreacting. Grief is not reserved for those at the center of the blast radius. It can't be. There is something uniquely disorientating. There is something uniquely disorienting. I can't say that word correctly right now. About modern suffering. You can be outraged, heartbroken, furious, and then immediately to perform a task with normalcy. Answer the email, you know, put stuff in the dishwasher, thank the barista for your coffee. The emotional whiplash creates moral fatigue. It makes people numb. It makes people shut down. It makes people say things like, I just can't watch the news anymore. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much and don't know where to put it, or it makes them extremely uncomfortable. And if that's you, I really want you to hear this clearly. You are not weak for needing boundaries. You're also not absolved of responsibility just because it's overwhelming. Mental health in times like this is not about disengaging. It's about intentional engagement. I want to talk about something we've lost the ability to hold in this country in particular. Nuance. Now that sounds like a really weird word to use for this. But it's true. Because you can believe two things at the same time. And if you're listening to me and you are one of those people, please don't turn this off. Hear me out. I'm going to give some examples with no judgment. You can want secure borders and believe that human rights and due process are non-negotiable. You can believe in law and order and believe that state violence should never be excused. You can care about safety and refuse to dehumanize immigrants, refugees, your neighbors. Due process is not a loophole. It is the foundation. Human rights are not conditional. They are not political favors. They are not something that we just extend only when it's convenient or popular. The way that we treat foreigners, the way that we treat the most vulnerable, it's what separates a democracy from something much darker. It separates us from other countries that are handling things really similar, because otherwise we are no different. And I can't accept that. Silence is not neutral. Silence is a choice. And in moments like this, it often sides with power. Picking a party color over humanity is not justice. It's not patriotism, and it's definitely not protection. When we refuse to hold people accountable because they're on our side, we trade our moral authority for comfort, for personal comfort. Accountability is not cruelty. Accountability is how trust is built. Not holding people responsible for harm does not bring peace. It does not make it go away. It delays the explosion. So, what do we do with all of this? We limit exposure without abandoning awareness. You don't need to consume every video. You don't need to re-traumatize yourself to prove that you care. Choose windows of engagement and then step back. Move the feelings somewhere. Put them to use. Talk about it. Write about it. Show up locally. Call your local government. Donate. Hopelessness is what destroys mental health, not awareness. Not hiding from it, not ignoring it. Please stay human. You know, open the snack for your kid. Hug your kid. Laugh when you can. Joy is not betrayal. Rest is not apathy. You are allowed to survive while still resisting. If you're listening to this and feeling like you're not doing enough, I want you to know that the first step is deeply caring about it. But caring is not the end of the road. It's just the beginning. We don't need to aim for perfection, but we do need courage. We do need the willingness to say, this harms people, and I won't excuse it, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it costs us or distance from the people we love. So hold the horror. Love your people. And don't let numbness be the price of survival, because that is a false truth. Because it may not be you right now, but it'll get there. And what defines us is not about recognizing something only when it affects us. It's about looking at everyone around us, acknowledging the fact that nobody is above somebody else. Passion and empathy only seem radical when power is being used in the wrong way and being held over us. Honestly, I don't know what else to say right now. I love you all. Please take care of yourself. Please do not look away. We all need to be in this together.